So today's build video is one that I've actually wanted to highlight at the channel since season 11 began, but for some reason I never got around to it. So in today's video I'm going to show you a legendary tank build around the Ninjabike backpack and one of the many ways you can put this thing together. What's up my YouTube family, Graybeard with the Gaming Brigade back with another Division 2 build video, and as I said a moment ago, this is all about a legendary tank build around the Ninjabike messenger bag. Now if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well, and you know about the giveaways here, blah blah blah. I will save that stuff into the end. Now you can see by this footage, this build can take an absolute beating and it is a lot of fun to use. Now there are a lot of details I'd like to go over with this build, but I want to jump into the build breakdown, not waste your time, and then at the end of the video I'll go over a few things really quick. So as always, we're going to start with a specialization, and we're using technician for three main reasons. First of all, it's going to give you that extra skill tier. Secondly, it's going to give you an extra 12% damage bonus to drones, skill proxies, and robotics. And third, it's going to also give you the ability to use the Artificer Hive, which is going to really help with your shield survivability. And remember, regardless of which specialization you choose, always have the proper weapons activated in your weapon skill tree. That way, no matter which one you're using, you're always getting that 15% weapon damage bonus. Now, when it comes to the primary weapon for this build, I'm pretty much using my handgun 100%, well, okay, 99% of the time. I do switch to the other weapons here and there, but you'll notice in the gameplay that I pretty much only use the handgun. You can see I've got a shotgun with pummel for the first weapon. I've got the Dark Winter SMG for the second, but my primary is my handgun, and as you can see, it's a Liberty pistol, and it has the talent Liberty or Death, where hits are going to grant 2% weapon damage, it stacks up to 30 times, and headshots consume all stacks, repairing your shield for 3% per stack. Now if you do not have this weapon, thankfully you do have a lot of options here. First of all, if you have the Regulus, you can use that, and I know for a lot of you out there you cannot craft it at this moment, but thankfully the game has said that in Title Update 17.2 they will have fixed that problem. I will obviously keep you posted when we can expect that. A few other options are a D50 with the talent determined or the Prophet with perfect determined. However, I do believe they're going to be making a change to that talent in the future, so another great option for a D50 or the Card 45 is the talent Close and Personal, where killing a target within 7 meters grants 30% weapon damage for 10 seconds. Now as I mentioned earlier, this is a build built around the Ninjabike messenger bag, and because of that there are a few things I need to mention about it. First of all, there is currently a bug in the game that can affect your brand set bonus, so anytime you're putting any build together with this bag, make sure that this is the last piece of gear that you equip in your build. So what I recommend doing is this: put an entire build together from scratch, put any other backpack in its place, and then equip this as the final piece. Now the other PSA about this backpack is that there are many other bags you can use in the game. Obviously the Memento is one of the best bags for a build like this. Another great option is a brand set of your choosing and using the talent Adrenaline Rush, which is going to give you bonus armor when you're close to NPCs, and with legendary they're usually running to you, so that's pretty much going to happen all the time. Again, my friends, this is just one of many ways you can throw this thing together. Now starting off with the mask, it's the one piece of Douglas and Harding, but because we're wearing the Ninjabike, it does mean we get two brand set bonuses. You can see we have 20% pistol damage, 20% stability, and as you can see, one of the attributes with this mask is a 20% headshot damage increase. Now if you do not have it as yet, I recommend farming Countdown. You have a few options. You can set your targeted loot to mask, or I recommend setting your targeted loot to Douglas and Harding, because that narrows down the field to just that brand set, which will hopefully increase your chances. Now moving on to the body armor. It is the first piece of the Found Your Gear set that we have equipped. We are running with 3, but once again, my friends, because we have the Ninjabike on, we do get that 4-piece bonus. You can see 2 pieces 10% total armor, 3 pieces 1% armor regen and 50% shield health, and 4 pieces makeshift repairs. Whenever you or your shield take damage, 20% of that amount is repaired to both over 15 seconds. Now because we're wearing the body armor, it does mean we have the talent Improved improved materials, which increases makeshift repairs from 20% to 30%, which is a really big jump. And on all of these pieces of gear, I'm trying to stack armor regen and protection from elites everywhere I can. Now moving on to the holster, it's the second piece of foundry. Again, I'm stacking that armor and armor regen as the core and, the secondary attribute. Making our way to the knee pads, it's a one piece of overlord, and I'm mainly using these for that 8% damage to targets out of cover. It is still one of the best attributes in the game. And finally, we have the gloves. And as you can see, it's the final piece of the foundry gear set. Again, stacking that armor and armor regen. Now, one thing I want to do before we move on to the footage is show you another variation of the build that you can put together. But to be clear, all of the footage you're about to see is with this first version. So now with the shield, you can see my shield skill tier is sitting at 6, even though my character is only sitting at skill tier 2. And that's because with the bulwark, you're going to get a shield skill tier increase with both armor and skill core attributes, which is what makes the shield so strong. And when we move to the hive itself, like I said, you can see that sitting at 2. Now another great option for this build is to switch up a few pieces and make it a little more aggressive. So what I've done is this: I've switched the holster and the knee pads. So the knee pads are now that third piece of foundry, and I've changed both of the core attributes of the gloves and the knee pads from armor to weapon damage, which means that our base armor went from 1.8 million to 1.4. But again, remember, the shield is taking the brunt of the force, so you should be good with that. Now as far as the holster goes, you can see I've changed it to Picaro's holster. Once again, because of the Ninjabike, we get that 10% skill haste and that extra skill tier as well. This one has armor as the core attribute. And when we go back and look at our skills, you can see that the shield is still at skill tier 6, but our hive is now at skill tier 3. So obviously that's an increase. Once again, my friends, this is just another variation. Try them both out and, pick which one works best for you. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there happen to be a few things I'd like to go over really quick, and this is really for new and returning players. First of all, if you are just jumping into Legendary, I strongly recommend starting off in the Summit. It is much easier than Stronghold to get a feel for the build and then make that jump when you're ready. And the other thing, and this is something I always say I'm going to do, but I actually never do it, is I never really practice using a handgun. Like, my aim is absolutely terrible. I think if you go back to every tank build I've put together, I say the same damn thing, like, you know what, now I'm going to start working on my aim, and I never do. So even if you have aim as terrible as mine, you can still get the job done. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know. Most of you know that one of my favorite aspects about putting these build videos together is the family that we have here at the channel. So as always, if you have any tips or tricks you want to pass along to new and returning players, please let me know, as the main goal is to help out as many people as we can. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this thing, we are currently having a giveaway for a PlayStation 5. To enter, all you need to do is subscribe here or follow on Twitter, and the winner will be announced May 4th of this year. On that note, I'm going to leave you with more gameplay footage. As always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your amazing support of this channel, and remind you, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well. But most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.